Hello guys, welcome to my video. Today is our fourth tutorial. I'll be talking about logical expressions. So we're gonna start by opening the Anaconda shell. And after we open the Anaconda shell, we type IDLE to get into the interactive Python mode where we can write our code and compile it immediately. So now we have the interactive Python mode. So I'm gonna talk about some words that you need to keep in mind. We talked about something called like the basic mathematical operations, which are like add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And these are called arithmetic operators, what you see in front of you. And then after we do an operation, for example, 19 plus 10 minus 20, we're writing an arithmetic expression. We can even do it this way. For example, we give a value, the variable a value of 19, and then we say a multiplied by 3, and this is also an arithmetic expression with an arithmetic operator, as you can see, and then we get the number 57. Now you know what's an arithmetic operator and what's an arithmetic expression. So we're gonna talk about something called a comparison operator. We're gonna do some examples on all the comparison operators that we'll be using. And when you ask the computer to compare something for you, it gives you the value either true or false. So when it gives you the value true, it's telling you that this comparison is correct and true. And if it gives you the value false, it means this comparison is wrong. It's not true. For example, you ask the computer, is the value 10 bigger than the value 9? It's gonna give you true, because the value of 10 is bigger than the value of 9. If you ask the computer, is the value of 9 less than the value of 10, it's gonna give you 19, sorry, it's gonna give you true, because the value of 9 is less than 19. You could even use the, by the way, those are the comparison operators right here. So we're gonna do more comparisons. If you ask, is 10 bigger than or equal 10, it's gonna give you true, because 10 is equal 10. Is 10 less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is, so it's gonna give you true. Now you're gonna ask the computer, is 10 equal to 9? When you ask in Python and many programming languages, except for JavaScript, as far as I checked around, you always do double equal signs to check if something is equal to something. But in JavaScript, you write 3 equal signs, triple equal signs, and now you're asking the computer here, is 10 equal to 9? So it's gonna give you false. And if you want to ask the computer, in most programming languages too, including JavaScript, if something is not equal to something, you write 10 and then you write exclamation mark and say equal to 9. So you're asking here, is 10 not equal to 9? And the computer is gonna give you true. So anyways, we got the arithmetic expressions, the arithmetic operators, and the comparison operators. Now we're gonna talk about something called Boolean operators. There are 3 Boolean operators that you need to keep in mind. One is called AND, one is called OR, and one is called NOT. So we're gonna do some examples, and you can write this on a paper or keep it in your mind as a table. It's really easy. If you got a statement which is true, and a statement which is also true, you're gonna get true. If you got a statement which is true and a statement which is false, you're gonna get false. If you got a statement which is false and a statement which is false, you're gonna get false. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by a statement. For example, you ask, is 10 equal to 10 and 18 is less than 20. So this one is true over here, and this one is true over here. You get true. So you got a statement over here and a statement over here, and you're using the Boolean operator, as you can see, and here are the comparison operators. You can also write arithmetic expressions in between. I just want to show you the possibilities. And yeah, for example, 10 is less than 7, which is not true. And then you say 18 is less than 20, which is true. So you get false. Since this one here is false, it gives you the result false. And this one here gives you the result true. But at the end, you get false. So what you need to keep in mind is when you have a Boolean operator, which is AND, if one of the statements is not false, is not true. If one of the statements is false, then the whole thing is false. So you have to have true everywhere when you're using AND to get the value true. Okay, so now we're gonna check the Boolean operator OR. You got a statement which is true, or a statement which is true, you're gonna get the value true. A statement which is false, or a statement which is false, you're gonna get the value false. A statement which is true and a statement which is false, you're gonna get the value true. So the difference between AND and OR, in AND if you get one false, the whole thing becomes false, and in OR if you get one true, the whole statement is true. It doesn't matter if you got 100 false. If only one is true, then the whole thing is true. For example, true or false or false or false, and I could go on, and I'll still get true. And the case for AND is the other way around. It doesn't matter how many truths you have. If you got one false, the whole thing is false. And now I'm gonna talk about the Boolean operator, which is called NOT. So what NOT does is it just reverses the result. For example, you get NOT, you get, let's say, NOT, and then 9 is less than 10. So 9 is actually less than 10, but by putting a NOT, you're gonna get a false. So what NOT does, it just reverses your result. You can imagine NOT as a minus sign being multiplied with a minus statement if it's false, or by a plus sign if it's true, and it just reverses the answer. So this whole thing is called a Boolean expression. For example, here, this is a really nice example you see here. You got a comparison operator, an arithmetic expression, and a Boolean operator, and the whole thing is called a Boolean expression. So you just need to keep those things in mind right now, like the value true and false, and the results of using OR and NOT, because we're gonna need these later to affect the way our code behaves. It decides how your code behaves. If there is a statement which is true or a result which is true, then you take this way, and if statement is false, then you take the other way, and so on. We're gonna be using them in the future to do some examples and mini programs and so on. I hope it helped you understand the logical expressions. They are really important, and thank you for listening. I wish you a nice day.